Right, got it.
We got it.
Those who are coming to watch this tonight, this is the Playwrights Group. We've been doing this for since 2007. And one of the things we do is when we feel like a script is ready, we do a public reading like this. So we're grateful for you to come check out what we're doing, and after the reading, we'll do a short little session where we'll do, have some comments with the playwright and discuss the play a little bit. Alrighty, so for those of you who are not an actor in the play, please mute yourself and turn off your video camera. That way it'll be easier for us to focus on the characters in the play. I also recommend you put your view on speaker view. That way whoever's speaking will be a little bigger on your screen rather than them being a little tiny square on your screen. Let's see, without any further ado, let me turn it over to our playwright this evening, Michael Reisman, who's going to introduce his cast to you. Thanks for coming, folks.
Thank you so much, Richard, and thanks everyone for coming out tonight. I'm Michael Reisman. I'm the playwright of tonight's play, Shredded. I'm very happy to be presenting this. It's a play I've been working on for a couple of months, intensively in the Playwrights Group, which is a great, of course, I think people know it's a great place to develop new work. So quickly, I'll introduce our cast and ask them each to wave, or maybe if each of them would just say hello. I think that might bring up their picture on the on the screen. In the role of Jill, we have Brianna Panella.
Hi there.
In the role of Becky, we have Kim First. You can wave or say hi. She's there somewhere. In the role of Tad and the teacher, Andrew Matthews.
Hello.
In the role of Lopez, we have William Jackson.
Hello.
In the role of Mustafa and the man, Alexander Reed.
Hi, everybody.
And I get to introduce my wife now. So reading stage directions, Michelle Woods. Thanks, everyone.
Shredded. Time and setting, March 2002, America, Afghanistan, and Thailand. Prologue. Sounds of breathing, softer than louder. Dim light up on Jill and Tad sitting at a table. Mustafa is tied to a chair with a bag over his head. Jill and Tad look at each other. Long beat. Jill walks to Mustafa, then stops, goes back to the table and sits. Another long beat. Tad walks to Mustafa and pulls the bag off his head. Mustafa turns away. Tad looks at Jill. They don't move. Another long beat. Scene 1, in the cradle. Jill sits in a chair, center stage.
When did it happen? When I was 16. Yeah, my high school sent me to this big debate tournament in, DC. One day I had a couple of hours free, so I wandered around the National Mall.
Flashback to the mid-1980s. Jill becomes her 16-year-old self. She holds a small copy of the Constitution in her hand.
It's springtime, the cherry blossoms are out, the sun is shining, everyone is smiling. And I'm thinking, this is the center of our democracy. There's the Capitol, where Congress exercises its power under the first article of the Constitution. There's the White House, where the president exercises his powers under Article 2. Oh my God. There's the Supreme Court, where the justices uphold the Constitution under the third article. The branches of our government, like checks and balances, keeping us free and safe.
She holds up the book.
I have decided that I want to be a lawyer. Yeah, I'm serious.
Walks down center.
That must be the Vietnam War Memorial.
Man enters, sits on floor, stage right.
An endless wall of polished black granite. Name after name after name. People with pencils, papers, rubbing the names of their husbands, fathers, brothers, sons, laying flowers, weeping. I have no reference for this.
Teacher enters, stage left. Teacher unmute.
Jill, we've been looking all over for you. They're going to announce who made it to the elimination rounds tomorrow.
I'm so sorry. I was like looking around and got lost.
Time to vamoose. The bus is waiting.
Okay.
Teacher begins to exit left, but they have to get past the man.
Just ignore the homeless man.
Spare some change for veteran?
Jill reaches into her pocket.
No, I think I have something.
Sorry, she can't help you.
Yeah, I'm just trying to scrape together a few bucks for a sandwich.
Sorry, dude. We're in a hurry.
Can I just...
Let's go.
I don't mean no harm.
Why? Why can't I?
You'll just encourage him.
But he's hungry.
All right, go ahead.
Jill hands the man $1.
Thank you, young lady.
Can I catch up to you, please?
There's the bus. We skedaddle in 5 minutes, okay?
Absolutely.
Teacher exits.
What are you a veteran of?
Man points to the wall.
Oh, I'm so dense.
Don't worry about it. Marine rifleman.
Thank you for your service.
Much appreciated. Guys stationed in Japan or Europe walked easy street, but I was a grunt, cannon fodder, shot to hell.
I'm sorry. I need to...
Just promise me something.
Okay.
I did bad things to people over there. They called it torture, and the Viet Cong returned the favor. It should never happen to anyone again. Promise me you'll remember.
I'll remember.
Peace out. Go catch your bus.
Scene 2. Don't talk about it. March 2002, a Washington, D.C. lounge. Jill and Becky sip wine at a corner table.
How was the drive from the airport?
Oh, geez. I got pulled over on the Beltway.
Why?
Speeding.
But you already have points on your license.
It was a big nothing. The cop didn't even write me a ticket.
He just let you go?
Well, with a gentle warning not to do it again.
How'd you manage that?
I distracted him with my feminine wiles.
And that worked?
Don't act so surprised. Also, I told him I was on my way to visit my sick mother.
So you lied.
Depends on what the meaning of lie is.
To lie means to say something demonstrably false. Don't you think it's wrong to lie to a police officer?
Oh, please. A speeding ticket would have cost me hundreds of dollars.
That's not the point.
I was only 10 miles an hour on it.
But you broke the law.
To say it like that, it sounds bad. Everyone speeds, don't you?
Everyone does it is not an excuse.
We're talking about driving a little fast, not assault.
Can't you see it's a matter of principle?
I don't like being interrogated.
Sorry. I take my job home since there's nobody except,
You and Dylan were such a nice couple.
do we have to talk about him?
Of course not.
He was so judgmental. I respect that he works for Greenpeace, but he made me feel like I was doing the bidding of the evil empire.
How do you feel about it?
My job or the breakup?
Start with the breakup.
I'm completely over it, I think.
But it takes time. How is Matahari coping?
After Dylan moved out, she wouldn't eat for 3 days, but she seems to have forgotten him,
Cats are resilient.
especially ones named after spies.
I think Dylan was right about your job.
What? The CIA respects human rights just as much as Greenpeace, if not more.
Sorry, that doesn't pass the laugh test, sis.
I know it sounds bizarre, but I believe it.
Some people say that Bush is trampling on the Constitution. I mean, what with the Patriot Act and the war on terror and
Stop. We're doing our best to prevent another.
Let's not talk about it.
Why not?
Please, I don't want to stir the pot.
Why can't we talk about it?
It's been 6 months.
It seems like yesterday.
I'm maxed out.
I am too, sort of, but I need to talk.
I know. But maybe just once we can skip.
I can still smell the smoke.
Okay, here we go again.
Sorry.
There's no need to apologize.
Thank you.
No need to thank me either.
Lights dim as they are transported to a day 6 months earlier.
What do you remember most about that day?
Running to Jesse's school.
Running out of my office at Langley?
The kids were terrified.
Everyone was terrified.
Finally getting there, hugging her. She cried. How can I explain it to her?
We evacuated, soldiers carrying M60s. I had friends in the Pentagon when the plane.
We walked all the way home to Georgetown, looking up at the sky.
Fighter jets patrolling.
Sirens all day long.
We thought there would be another plane somewhere. Lots of chatter about coming in about attacks.
My cell didn't work.
They gave me a satellite phone.
We watched CNN, the Twin Towers,
The Pentagon was on fire.
ice cream.
Ice cream.
I got the last box of ice cream sandwiches at the Safeway. We had them for dinner.
I couldn't eat. The smell of burning plastic and metal, jet fuel, fear.
Jesse fell asleep. I turned off the TV and prayed.
I couldn't sleep.
Lights up. Lights up as they return to the present.
We should have stopped it.
It's not your fault.
I wish I could believe you.
Hey, why don't you stay with us this weekend? Jesse would love to hang out with Annie Jill.
Can I bring Matahari?
Okay?
Great. I can take Jessie around Georgetown, maybe over the bridge to Arlington.
Just don't take her to the tombs.
Don't worry, my Tombsdays are long over.
Thank God.
How about checking out the Cherry Blossom Festival?
That would be terrific. You know, I'm worried about her.
What's wrong?
She said something that surprised the heck out of me.
Kids have so much to deal with these days with the internet and drugs and terrorism.
She's seen a lot more than we did as 10-year-olds.
It's in their faces all the time.
I don't know where I went wrong.
Whatever it is, it's not your fault, Bex. What did she say?
She told me that she wants to be a lawyer.
I'll take that as a compliment.
It is sort of, but seriously, she asked me where you work.
What did you tell her? Oh, did you tell her?
Yeah, I did.
And what did she say?
She asked me why they have lawyers at the CIA.
Why did she ask that?
She thinks you guys just kidnap people and torture them.
She watches too much TV. So what did you say?
Well, that she's wrong, but she wants to hear it from you.
Okay, I'll talk to her on Friday.
I don't want to lose you, sis.
Lose me to what?
Scene 3, instructions. Blue fog. The next morning in Lopez's office at CIA headquarters in Langley, Virginia, Jill pokes her head in.
Good morning. Rick said I should stop by.
Yes, please come in.
Jill enters the office. They shake hands.
We met at the agency picnic.
Of course, I remember.
Great.
Great, great.
Jill
Please
sits.
have a seat. How was your weekend?
It was really nice. Everything's in bloom. And yours?
Nah, could have been a
Why?
little better. My kid's little league team lost.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Thanks. My son struck out looking with the bases loaded and the game on the line.
He must have felt awful.
Yeah, we all did. We had a good cry on the ride home.
That's too bad. It's just a game.
As a coach, I try to teach him to play the right way for the right reasons. He was so close. One swing, one hit would have won it.
There's always next time, right?
Yeah, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
The great Gretzky.
How did you know that?
I grew up in Minnesota. My dad's a big hockey fan.
We're going to get along really well, Jill.
I'm glad.
Rick told me you're smart, dedicated, a real team player.
He's such a good mentor.
In his words, you're the best person for the assignment.
Assignment? What can I do to help?
Well, I'll get to that in a minute. Did you see the post this
He
morning?
holds up a newspaper and drops it.
Some politicians say we're being too hard on detainees.
Do you think we're being too hard on suspected terrorists?
I would need more information to.
Right. But they attacked us. Isn't that enough?
Well, the suspects have rights, don't they?
I'm sorry. Stop it, Louise. Course. Remind me now, how long have you been at the agency?
3 years.
Now, during my first 2 decades here, I spent most of my time chasing Latin American drug lords. Now, with Islamic terrorists everywhere, I've pivoted.
I think we all have.
Exactly. Are you ready to take your game to the next level?
I'm not sure what you.
Sorry, I'm still in the baseball coach
Lopez
mode.
picks up a file.
In high school, you were the debate champion at the Georgetown tournament.
Yes, my partner was really good, and our coach was.
You're way too modest. You got the first speaker
got
award.
lucky.
So you were a kid from Minnesota and DC for
Yeah,
the first time.
it was inspiring.
Did you sneak into the tombs?
Oh, we tried, but they wouldn't let us in, so we went to Rocky Horror instead.
Excellent choice. I love that show.
It was fun.
Now, sorry to ask, but is it true you have a Greenpeace bumper sticker on your car?
It's my ex-boyfriend's car.
His car?
Is there something wrong with it?
The sticker or the ownership of the car?
Either one?
No, but I don't want anyone to make incorrect assumptions about you.
What kind of assumptions?
That you're not, I hate saying this, that you're not part of the team.
But I am. Look, I can get rid of the sticker, or I can take the bus to work.
No, I'm on your side.
Lopez opens his desk and takes out a sticker.
But here's an NRA sticker. Just slap it over the Greenpeace one at lunchtime.
Are you serious?
No, I'm just trying to get to know you, Jill. Drive whatever car you want with any old sticker on it.
I'm glad we sorted that out.
Lopez looks at the file again.
Now tell me about your interrogation experience.
I did the CIA interrogation training.
And got the top grade in your cohort.
Well, in 2 years as an assistant U.S. attorney, I did a few jury trials.
And won all 6 of them. Impressive. Now, some people, not me, of course, but some might say that boiler room stock fraud and drug possession cases are just chicken shit.
They're federal crimes, and
Some of those small-time hoods are so dumb, they don't know the difference between a fart and a kick in the ass.
At the Southern District, I participated in interviews of suspects in the World Trade Center bombing.
Now that's impressive. Staring down Islamic terrorists.
They were criminal defendants at the time.
I know. Have to read them their rights before you breathe on them or start asking questions.
As required by Miranda.
I get it. But as a lawyer, you know that Lincoln suspended habeas corpus during the Civil War. No trials, just military tribunals, right?
True, but in Ex parte Milligan, the Supreme Court ruled that Lincoln acted unconstitutionally in areas where civilian courts were functioning.
Touche. But we're at war again, Jill. Do you think they have functioning courts in Afghanistan, in Iraq?
Not to my knowledge, but we have obligations under Geneva, the Convention Against Torture, and
Sure. Look, I don't want to be patronizing, but do you understand that your job is to help the agency's operations by interpreting the laws?
of course.
Good. We just caught a terrorist, a high-value detainee, and we're holding him at Bagram Air Force Base in Afghanistan. I want you to fly there tonight.
Oh, and do what?
Sit in on interrogations and provide legal advice when called upon to do so.
I am ready to do that. But can I ask who's leading the interrogation team?
Tad.
Tad?
Yeah, your buddy from the team building exercise.
I thought he didn't.
He recommended you.
Flashback. We hear country music. Tad enters and he and Jill each put on goggles and grey armbands, pick up paintball guns and hit the ground next to each other, eyeing their target.
This is a good position. Let's rest for a moment.
Sounds good.
Tad takes 2 scones out of his vest pocket and hands one to Jill.
Would you like a scone?
Now?
We've been here since 0800. Aren't you hungry?
Yeah, I am. Where did you get these?
I made them myself.
Jill takes a bite.
Good.
Baking helps me maintain my equanimity.
Where did you learn to bake?
In the Marine Corps, Operation Desert Storm.
I thought you were in the infantry.
After we knocked Saddam's army back to Baghdad, we had a lot of free time.
Speaking on headset.
Gray team 1, over. I see the blue target, over. Take him out. Roger
Turns
that.
to Jill, pointing to the target.
I'll distract him, then you let him have it.
Okay.
Tad raises a white handkerchief on a stick and waves it.
Shoot him. Shoot
Hey,
already.
you can't do that. False
Why
surrender
not?
is illegal under Geneva Protocol 1.
This isn't war, it's a team building
Rules are
exercise.
rules. Take it down.
Tad pulls
Don't
down
you want-
the handkerchief.
Don't you want to win?
Not this way.
Can't you just be part of the team?
I am, but we don't need to cheat.
Do you always have to be such a lawyer?
It's my job. Do you want to fall into a legal black hole?
Oh, that's a trippy image.
Watch out.
Tad is hit with a paintball.
Damn. Game over.
That's the best scone I've ever had, by the way.
Really?
End of flashback. Tad exits.
Afghanistan is going to be harsh.
It's a war zone.
I mean, in the interrogation room.
Oh, but there's a line you don't cross, right?
A line?
The agency's public position is that torture doesn't work, and coercive interrogation techniques result in false answers.
Well, that was before 9/11. This is a whole new ball game.
How does that change our legal obligations?
If we know that a subject has information about an imminent attack, doesn't that justify taking the gloves off?
I would need to know the facts on the ground to assess whether the techniques are legal.
Sure. It's exactly why we chose you for this assignment.
Just one thing. I'm not going to reach a legal conclusion because someone tells me to.
I would never ask you to do that.
I swore an oath to uphold the Constitution.
So did I and Tad and everyone else here.
Okay. Thanks for having faith in me.
Sure thing. Meet Tad at the heliport at 2000. We'll debrief every day.
Sounds like a plan.
Safe travels. I've got your back, Jill. We all do. Just keep your eye on the ball.
I won't let you down.
Scene 4, the first conversation. Yellow fog, 2 days later in an interrogation room at Bagram Air Base outside Kabul, Afghanistan. Tad and Jill sit at a table stage right, working on laptops. A large empty chair is in the middle of the room.
We have a surge in Al-Qaeda chatter. Second wave of attacks.
I'm reading the report now.
You ready to roll?
Almost.
Not jet lagged?
No, well, a little.
Get any sleep at all?
Some, but the mortars woke me up. Or maybe it was the machine guns.
Wear your helmet and flak jacket whenever you go outside. Please.
I know, this isn't paintball.
Actually, I chose you because of paintball.
I thought you were mad at me for telling you.
No way.
Really?
To be honest, you annoyed the shit out of me with your sanctimonious do-gooder attitude and your irritating.
You can stop now. I get it.
But I realized that you were right about everything you said. And I know that you're going to keep this operation in line.
I'll try.
Jill takes her copy of the Constitution out of her briefcase.
What's that?
A book. The Constitution.
Oh, man. Do you carry it around with you, like for protection or something?
In a way.
Right on. Weird, but right on.
Tad takes a muffin out of his briefcase and hands it to Jill.
Want a homemade blueberry muffin?
Did you really make it yourself?
Sure did.
Thanks, I'll have it later.
Loud buzzer sounds.
They're bringing him up from the pit. All right. Game face on.
Ready.
I'll kick this off. He may not feel comfortable talking to a woman, so cover your head with this.
Okay.
Tad Hill hands Jill a scarf, which he puts over her head. Loud buzzer sounds again. Tad goes out and brings in Mustafa, who has a bag over his head and is handcuffed. Tad removes the bag.
Sit.
Which chair?
There.
Thank you.
You need a translator.
No, man. I'm fluent in English, thanks to imperialistic American culture.
What's your name?
Daoud.
Nice alias. I'll just call you Mustafa, the name you were born with.
Who are you?
CIA.
Central Idiot Agency.
That's funny. Listen, Mustafa, you've been caught. You're smart, so you'll realize the battle is over. We know everything about you. Don't play games.
Can I have a comb?
Nobody cares how you look.
Hey, man, I haven't been able to wash or comb my hair for weeks
Since we pulled you out of the safe house. You're lucky to be alive.
You like shit. Please?
We can arrange a haircut for Mustafa, right?
Okay. Make it nice and stylish.
And the change of clothes?
Demanding, aren't we?
Jill?
I'll try to find him a new t-shirt and some jeans.
Okay. Okay. Now that we addressed your fashion needs, let's get down to business.
What would you like to know?
Start with your job in Pakistan.
I worked for the Dahab Company.
And
It's a well-known international money transfer company.
What'd you do for this company?
I helped humble Muslims living in Karachi send money to relatives in the Middle East.
Whatever. You were captured after a gunfight in Al Qaeda's safe house. What were you doing there?
It wasn't a safe, it was a guest house. I manage it, like the side hustle, and kind of like B&B. I didn't even have a weapon, but the police, army came in shooting everywhere like 10 Arnold Schwarzeneggers. Bang, 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 bang. Shot me leg, arm, stomach.
Surgeon said he'd never seen someone with your wounds survive.
I'm like Felix the Cat, man.
9 lives. How do you know that?
Growing up in Saudi, I watched a lot of American TV.
Aren't your parents Palestinian?
You've done your homework, yeah. We're refugees from the catastrophe.
Let's focus on Pakistan. Tahab launders money for Al Qaeda, right?
What evidence do you have?
I'll ask the questions. You're a member of Al Qaeda, right?
I know precious little about them.
This will go much easier if you just admit you're Al Qaeda.
If you're going to cop that attitude, I think we're an impasse.
You knew bin Laden in Saudi, didn't you?
I met him a few times.
You fought with him in Mujahideen, right?
Well, okay. That is true. In early 90s, I fought the communist government backed by Russians. Fuckers almost blew my head off. Your people and my people had a common enemy. The Soviet Union. Didn't we?
Yeah. Well, fast forward to 2000, you ran a training camp in Afghanistan, right?
Haven't been there since I fought Russia's mercenaries.
What were you working on before you were caught?
I told you, helping poor Muslims.
What is Al Qaeda's next target in America?
I have nothing against America. But sometimes you guys do things the wrong way, and bad things happen.
This is not going to end well for you.
Tad rises as if to lunge at Mustafa, but controls himself. He throws up his hands and walks away.
My colleague may have some questions for you.
Tad motions for Jill to come forward. She sits in Tad's
In your
chair.
job, did you send money to terrorists?
When?
Ever?
Tahab is a clean company. That's a no.
Dahab has a due diligence policy for money transfers. What does it say?
I have no idea.
What training did you receive on Dahab's know your customer procedures?
There was no such training.
What was the name of your supervisor?
I don't remember his name. Hey, can Red Cross deliver a letter to my wife?
I'll ask.
Not allowed.
Okay, if it were allowed, what would you tell her?
Tell her a poem by Rumi.
Who was Rumi?
He was a Sufi poet from Persia many centuries ago.
What poem by Rumi would you tell her?
When I die, don't shed any tears.
Jill looks over to Tad, who shakes his head.
Stop, stop, stop. We're done. Time to go back to the sandbox, Felix.
Tad jumps up and a loud buzzer sounds. He puts the bag over Mustafa's head and pushes him out of the door.
Why did you stop me?
He's withholding.
I was building rapport with him.
He was playing with you.
I was getting past his defensiveness.
By letting him spew out a poem that could have been written by a suicide bomber?
Jill?
I think we may have lost Jill. She got disconnected and I think she just lost it again. I forgot your name. Michael's wife. Do you want to fill in for her until she gets back in?
Actually, could Kim step in and read Jill? We're on page 32.
Even better.
Yeah, what line?
He was throwing sand in your face was my line.
Okay. I got him to admit that he doesn't know about any company policies and couldn't name a supervisor.
He knew that already, and it's irrelevant.
Then what are we doing here?
To find out who he's moving money to and when the next attack will happen.
I was getting to that. I'm not a complete novice, you know.
I'm not saying that, but
That's fair. Clear my head.
be careful outside, Jill.
I always try to be careful.
Scene 5, a change of tactics. That night, video call, Jill and Tad sit at the table in the room at Bagram. Lopez in his office at Langley sits stage right.
Evening, folks. Well, it's morning for me. Great work today.
Thanks.
Right on.
Team, I need you to put on the big boy pants.
Big boy pants?
We picked up a guy in Kandahar who said a dirty bomb attack may hit the U.S. very soon.
Where?
We don't know yet.
What is Mustafa's connection?
We think he knows the Al-Qaeda operatives planning the attack. We have Mustafa's ATM cards from Saudi and Kuwaiti banks, so we know how much money he's withdrawn, but we don't know where the money went. Jill?
Okay, tomorrow we stay the course and we'll find out what he knows.
Actually, it's time for a call to the bullpen. I'm sending you to a place that's going to make Bagram look like a luxury spa. Jill?
Apologies all, I've just rejoined. I had a very unstable internet connection. Could you tell me where we've come back to?
We're on page 34, right at the top.
Apologies again. Guantanamo?
No, Thailand.
Why Thailand?
We have a black site there.
Black site?
It's off the map, off the radar. Doesn't exist. Welcome to the inner circle.
But why Mustafa? He's just a clerk with an attitude.
Clerk? We believe that he facilitated payments to an Al-Qaeda cell that is planning to detonate a dirty nuclear bomb on American soil. He's not cooperating. So it's time for new techniques.
New techniques? I don't like where this is going. What about Geneva, the Convention Against Torture?
The bomb could kill thousands of people.
We're making progress with him using the standard approach.
We have to speed things up.
How do we do that?
We hired a couple of retired military shrinks. They came up with something called enhanced interrogation techniques, EITs.
Beating the crap out of people more efficiently?
No, that's old school.
What's new school?
The shrinks say that with EITs, we can quickly break down these guys psychologically, so they tell us everything we need to know.
By torturing them.
Well, it depends on just how.
Torture is illegal.
It depends on what your definition of torture is.
I know what torture is, and so do you.
Okay. We have new guidance from the biggest legal brains at the DOJ. I just emailed it to you. Take a look at it.
Jill taps at her laptop and reads.
From the Department of Justice to our General Counsel.
We got all the legal authorities we need, all the approvals for the new program.
Including the White House?
Up to and including the president. No objections. They're all on board.
What about Congress?
We got Pelosi.
Nancy Pelosi?
Yeah, Nancy's on board.
Attention grasp, facial hold, insult slap.
Slap him with open hand. Lets him know there's a new sheriff in town, and he better pay attention. Even better if he's naked. or wearing diapers.
Cramped confinement, insect placement?
Mustafa is really afraid of insects. You could put him in a small box with a big bug.
Wall standing, stress positioning?
Put him up against the wall, his hands over his head for a few hours, maybe longer. Now, most people who work out experience much greater fatiguing of their muscles.
Are you saying this one is like going to the gym?
More or less.
Sleep deprivation?
3 straight days at least. Longer the better. You guys must have some jet lag yourselves. When you don't get a good night's sleep or 2 or 3 for 3 days, pretty hard to get your bearings.
Finally, waterboarding.
Tilt his head back. Put a cloth over the mouth and nose. Then you pour water on him for up to 40 seconds at a time from a height of 12 to 24 inches. Steady flow creates a sensation of drowning.
This was never, and now it's all legal?
That's what they're telling us, yeah.
So you went to the dark side.
We went to the dark side.
This is unbelievable. What do you want me to do?
Watch, listen, and evaluate whether the EITs are being done in compliance with the guidance.
I didn't sign up for this.
If you want me to pull you out, just say the word.
I need some time to think.
Well, we don't have that luxury.
What if we cause lasting damage to his body, his mind? What if he dies?
Our best medics say he's mentally and physically in tip-top shape. Very unlikely that there'll be any long-term effects from the EITs. Hell, he's getting better medical care than most Americans.
It's all planned out then. Clinical. I don't know if I can do this.
Don't quit on us now, Joe. Please.
Can I have the medical reports?
Certainly.
Okay. I'll review them on the plane to Thailand.
Good. We'll take care of you.
Dream sequence in office. Lopez enters, holds up a document, and without looking at it, thrusts it in the air at Jill.
Hey, shred this one.
Yes, sir.
Jill runs towards Lopez and takes the document.
No peeking.
Of course.
Jill holds the document away from her eyes as if looking at it would turn her to stone and rips it up. Lopez holds out another document.
And this one.
Okay.
Jill takes the document and after sneaking a peek, rips it up.
I can't believe I went to law school for this.
Lopez holds out another document.
I have more.
Right away.
Jill takes the document and reads it carefully.
Are you sure about this one?
Are you questioning my judgment?
No, just making sure that our activities comply with legal.
Just get on with the shredding.
End of dream sequence. Scene 6, enhancements. Red fog, 2 days later, in an interrogation room in the CIA's black site in Thailand. We hear the sound of a large industrial shredder morphing into rage against the machines, killing in the name. Jill and Tad sit at a table in front of laptops.
Want a cookie? Chocolate
Maybe later.
chip. I baked it
Maybe later,
myself.
thanks.
A loud buzzer sounds. Tad goes to the door, escorts Mustafa in and sits him in a chair. Mustafa has a bag over his head, is shirtless, and wears a diaper. Tad removes the bag. Mustafa's eyes are shut, and his lips are moving as if in prayer.
What are you doing?
Praying.
Who are you praying on?
So it's supposed to be funny.
I thought you liked my jokes.
Well, you need some new material.
What were you praying for?
And I make it to heaven.
How do you get to heaven?
I help Muslims and strike our enemies.
Is the United States your enemy?
Sometimes.
Have you sent money to anyone in America?
No.
That's a lie. Give the names of the members of Al Qaeda's American cell.
I don't have any names.
Another lie. When will the dirty bomb attack happen?
I don't know.
Liar. We have your ATM cards and know you withdrew thousands of US dollars. Al-Qaeda operatives were all around that safe house. You gave them the cash. What are their names?
I grew up in Saudi, but I'm not Saudi. Bug it off.
Tell us what the money will be used for.
I help poor Muslims get a life.
What is the target of the dirty bomb attack?
I demand a lawyer.
You are not entitled to a lawyer.
Tad looks at Jill as if to ask, can I? After a moment, she nods. Tad moves to Mustafa and slaps him 5 times on each cheek. Jill walks over to Mustafa and inspects his face, then his abdomen.
Mustafa, what happened to your stomach?
What are you doing?
Making sure that we stick to the guidance.
I refused to make a false confession. They mistreated me,
How?
beat the crap out of me.
You jumped the guards in the hallway.
They caused my wounds to open. Can I have a painkiller?
The doctor will be here tomorrow.
I'm hungry.
Would you like some more Ensure?
I want real food.
Ensure is all we have. Mustafa, do you think murdering innocent people is okay?
I struggle to determine who is innocent.
Did you celebrate the destruction of the World Trade Center?
People around me did. Maybe I did too. Until I found out that the Muslims died.
Do you hate America?
Not against the American people or America. I'm against the government. A partner of a killer is also a killer.
Talk to us about the plans for the dirty bomb.
I've nothing to tell you.
Tad looks at Jill again as if to ask, can I? After a moment, she nods. Tad pushes Mustafa to the wall and chains him up with his arms over his head. Lights fade and rise to indicate passage of time. Mustafa is now almost delirious.
One more time. We need details about the dirty bomb.
2 guys came to me and said they want to make a dirty nuclear bomb to strike American city.
How will these guys get into the US?
One is American passport, the other British.
How will they get uranium for the bomb?
Maybe hijack a truck that carries it to a hospital or research facility.
After they get the uranium, how do they plan to turn it into a bomb?
Looked it up on the internet. They'll swirl around over their heads in a bucket.
Did you believe them?
Thought they were idiots, but useful.
What are their names?
Abdul and Muhammad.
Aliases. Where are they now?
Maybe somewhere in America.
Where will the attack happen? East Coast, West Coast, or somewhere else?
I don't know. I'm still hungry.
Jill nods to Tad.
You can give him something.
Here's an Ensure. Tilt your head back, sip it nice and slow so you don't choke.
Tad opens a can of Ensure and pours it into Mustafa's mouth. Scene 7, final instructions. That night, video call. Jill and Tad sit at the table in the room in Thailand. Lopez in his office at Langley sits stage right. During the scene, Mustafa is chained to the wall in dim light with a bag over his head.
Great work again, folks. Listen, we just got some fresh intel. The target for the dirty bomb is likely in the DC area, maybe Maryland, maybe Virginia.
Anything more specific than that?
No. We also heard that Mustafa may know a plan to blow up a bridge in New York City.
We'll get the details out of him. Don't worry.
Sir, can I raise something?
Sure.
The guards physically abused Mustafa. The guidance doesn't allow that.
Come on,
Come
Jill.
on, Jill.
It was justified. I told you.
Sir, I've taken the liberty of writing a report and
Sir,
Sir, the detainee attacked our men.
time out, time out. Jill, send me your report and I'll review it carefully. But I want both of you to keep going at him with the techniques we discussed.
He knows a lot more than he's telling us.
We need to break him to get the details that will help us stop the dirty bomb attack.
how close are we with the techniques we're using?
Extremely close. But we need to go deeper with fastballs high and tight.
I think we can get what we need with some slaps and walling. He's wearing a diaper and only getting insured, for Christ's sake.
It's not enough.
Think about the suffering he's caused and will cause.
If we just cause more suffering, is it worth it? Do the ends justify the means?
We're not here to have some philosophical debates.
I'm not a damn robot. I have to think through and feel right about this.
Sure, but do it quickly.
Okay. Also, I did some research on potential legal defenses
Defenses?
to criminal charges under the Convention Against Torture,
Why?
in case we're prosecuted in the future for what we.
I don't see that happening.
If it did, we'd have a strong argument that what we did was necessary to prevent harm to a large number of people.
We have rock solid defense if we ever need one. Am I missing something?
But we're not certain the attack will ever happen.
Does the law require absolute certainty?
No, but we don't need the water.
We do need to close this guy out.
Scene 8, final enhancements. Red fog. The next morning in an interrogation room in the CIA's black site in Thailand, Jill and Tad sit at the table in front of laptops. Mustafa is chained to the wall. We hear Rage Against the Machines killing in the name.
Can you play some Irish music instead of this garbage? Maybe you too, the chieftains.
We picked the music. By the way, we found your diaries.
Where?
Behind one of the walls in the safe house. Why did you write that it would be better to use a nuclear weapon than to bomb buildings?
I was venting. Mad at the world because my friend was killed. But I never did anything with nukes.
The two guys you told us about, what else are they planning?
Vaguely recall something about blowing up a bridge in New York.
Which one?
I don't remember the name.
George Washington, Manhattan, 59th.
Oh, wait. The one in the second Godzilla movie.
The Brooklyn Bridge?
Yeah.
Why the Brooklyn Bridge?
We were watching Godzilla one day, and when he stepped onto the bridge, one of the guys said, "Oh man, what devastation that would cause if we blew it up."
Tad and Jill move to the side.
This doesn't make any sense.
Maybe there's no bridge attack.
Mustafa is crazy or he's faking it.
Tad slaps Mustafa 5 times on each cheek.
What's the real plan?
They will fill apartment buildings with explosives. Then tell Bush to release all brothers in jail, including the blind sheik, or they kaboom.
How are they going to get President Bush on the phone?
They will call the White House and say, "Put me through the bush." If the White House says no, they blow up buildings until they get to yes.
They'd call just like that?
Yeah.
Where are the buildings?
Washington.
What part of Washington?
Georgetown. Do you know it?
I do.
I went there on a high school trip.
Where are the buildings?
Do you know the Francis Scott Key Bridge? A lot of apartment buildings near there.
When?
When what?
When is...
Where are Abdullah Muhammad?
Sorry, no more words for today. Too tired.
Tell us or...
Or what?
Stop messing around, Mustafa.
I bleed, sir, but not killed.
Are you reciting fucking Shakespeare?
English actors came to my high school. Iago is the man.
This is your last chance.
Demand me nothing. What you know, you know. From this time forth, I never will speak word.
Jill moves as if to strike Mustafa, but Tad holds her back. Tad puts the bag on Mustafa's head. Lights dim to indicate passage of time, sounds of soft, labored breathing. Joined by heavy metal chords, the sounds rise to a cacophony, then suddenly stop. Tad sits next to Jill and offers her a biscuit.
Biscuit? Sorry, it's all I could manage.
I'm not hungry.
Okay. Are you ready?
It depends.
Depends on what?
On what you mean by ready.
I mean ready. Ready. It's a simple word.
Yeah, but what do you mean?
Are you ready for the next level.
I think.
It's your call.
Is it?
You're the lawyer.
Don't. The protocol, we need to follow it.
Absolutely. But we're running out of time.
Okay. Okay. Is he conscious?
I'll check.
Tad walks to Mustafa and pulls the bag off his head. Mustafa's slumped forward, his hair and face filled with sweat and dirt. He slowly lifts his chin and squints at them. Tad removes Mustafa from the wall and pushes him into a chair.
Yeah.
Okay, then. How did we get to?
Are you saying we shouldn't?
No, we should. But first we need to talk.
Tad takes a card from his wallet and quickly reads from it.
Under Common Article 3 of the Geneva Convention, the following acts are prohibited at any time in any place whatsoever. Violence to life and person, in particular, murder of all kinds, mutilation, cruel treatment, and torture.
Tad turns to Jill.
Does Geneva apply here?
The words you just read mean, but the president said, and Lopez, I don't, no, they don't apply. It doesn't.
So can I waterboard him?
I need to,
He knows about an attack.
but we don't know when.
He knows the guys involved.
But he described them as idiots.
Jill taps on her laptop.
The DOJ says we can waterboard him only if there's an imminent threat and we don't have a date.
Are you willing to put thousands, maybe millions of lives at risk because of that?
There's no date.
The guy knows about a dirty bomb.
I need to follow the law.
I know it's hard. I get it. But we are close to getting him to tell us what. He'll be uncomfortable, maybe in pain. Maybe he'll suffer, but if we don't, thousands of people might die. Families, kids.
Okay. My sister lives in Georgetown with her daughter, Jessie, in an apartment building.
That should make your decision easy.
If only there was a way to find out if to waterboard him, but maybe he doesn't know.
You have to decide now.
Go ahead. Slowly.
We're filming this for training purposes.
Tad pushes Mustafa out of the chair onto the floor and props his legs up so that his head is on the floor and his feet are on the seat of the chair. Tad drapes a cloth over his face, takes out a canteen, and begins to pour water onto his face.
Can I go again?
One moment.
We need to do a few rounds at least. Think about your sister, your niece being blown into little pieces or irradiated. They could suffer for days or weeks before dying.
Okay. Please continue.
Tad initiates another long round of pour, scream. Mustafa's writhes in agony. Jill holds up her arms to block Tad.
That's way too much water. You're not following the DOJ guidance.
I'm just making it realistic.
We need to check his status. The guidance says torture means only those acts that cause serious physical injury, such as organ failure, impairment, bodily function, or death.
Has the detainee experienced serious physical injury?
Doesn't appear to be the case.
Organ failure?
Hard to tell.
Impairment of bodily functions?
We'd need the doctor to confirm it, but don't think so.
Is he dead?
No.
Then it's not torture.
Yeah. Well, yes, it's legal, so to speak. Keep going.
Do you have family?
I
Tad slaps Mustafa.
We ask the questions.
Tad holds a canteen over Mustafa as if to pour water on his face.
This is what happens when you don't give us useful information. When will the attack happen? Where? And who will do it?
The next sequence proceeds rapidly. Tad pours water, blackout, and lights up quickly.
I'm not afraid to die.
Oh God, let's stop it.
Are you serious?
I just go.
Tad pours water, blackout, and lights up quickly.
I will be Shahid, a martyr.
Tad pours water, blackout, and lights up quickly.
I don't know.
Tad pours water, blackout, and lights up quickly.
I will say whatever you want.
Tad pours water, blackout, and lights up quickly.
I helped plan September 11th.
Tad pours water, blackout, and lights up quickly.
I'm Bin Laden's number 3.
Tad pours water, blackout, and lights up quickly.
Where are the attackers?
Maybe it was Bin Laden in Pakistan.
Tad pours water, blackout, and lights up quickly.
No more, please. I'm just a safe housekeeper.
Pours water, blackout, and lights up quickly.
Oh, I will cooperate.
Tad stands over Mustafa, who moans.
Oh.
Mouth is at the screen, but her voice is drowned out by the sound of the shredder and heavy metal music. Scene 9. Open seas. Dream sequence. White fog.
After the 83rd time, Mustafa wouldn't stop talking. I don't know if anything he said was true.
We hear the sound of waves. Jill picks up a kickboard.
I thought it would be nice to swim home from Thailand.
Jill sets down the kickboard, lies prone on it, and moves her arms as if to swim.
I got to see the sea. The sea, the sea, see the sea, see the sea. Indian Ocean to Pacific. The waves got bigger, water splashed into my mouth, salty tang clogged my nose. Is that Tad in the dinghy?
Tad moves 2 chairs near Jill to make a boat, picks up an oar and rows.
Tad! Hey, Tad!
Sound of swirling winds and splashing waves, Tad rows harder.
I can barely see you. Oh, hey, Jill, how are you?
Great, great. How are you?
Great, great.
Did you bring any scones with you?
I just ate the last one.
Darn. Could you give me a ride?
Sorry, but I think it's against the rules.
I'm kind of tired.
Oh, in that case, rules are made to be broken.
Tad pulls Jill into the boat and hands her an oar. They row.
I thought I was going to drown.
I got you just in the nick of time.
Are we going to be safe in this puny boat?
All is under control.
As their boat begins to sink, they crouch into their seats.
Are we sinking?
No, it's the sea level rise
This is the most fun I've had in a long time.
and a wonderful team building exercise.
How far are we from Langley?
We just passed Samoa, so 6,105 nautical miles.
Hey, I see land. We're there already.
Nah, it's just a sandbar.
Let's take a look.
Maybe I can find some berries for my next batch of scones.
Tad lands the dinghy and they get out.
I always wanted to visit a desert island.
Becky enters.
Jill, how are you?
Terrific. But the soles of my feet are burning.
How's work?
Never better.
How's the new boss?
He doesn't exist. Well, his name is classified.
You look worried.
I'm not. But even if I was, I couldn't tell you anything.
Talking with you is like trying to decipher Morse code. Maybe you should just tap on your little floaty thing.
That might get me into trouble.
Lopez enters with a document.
Jill, shred this one now.
Jill takes the document from Lopez and reads the contents aloud.
Manual of Approved Procedures for Provoking Terror. We should keep this.
Nah, feed it to the sharks.
Jill hides the document under her shirt. Lopez gives Jill another document.
Legality of faking intelligence about imminent attacks.
Get rid of it.
Was what we did wrong?
The problem is, you think too much.
That's a good point. Are your feet burning?
No, cool as cucumbers.
Mine are on fire. Maybe I'll blow the whistle on this whole operation.
Do you have a whistle?
No.
I do.
Lopez takes out a whistle and blows. He becomes an awards ceremony MC. Tad and Becky stand behind him. Jill watches from the side.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 57th Annual CIA Achievement Awards. It's been a really fantastic year for the agency. Presenting the first award is Becky.
Becky takes an envelope from Lopez, opens it and reads.
The award for Best Legal Interpretation of Guidance for Enhanced Interrogation Techniques goes to Jill!
Becky hands Jill a medal.
Oh my God. I'd like to thank, thank you, Mr. President, and the Department of Justice and Congress and the Supreme Court and the American Psychological Association and the American people for making this possible.
And we'll present the next award.
Tad takes an envelope from Lopez, opens it and reads.
The award for best supervision of enhanced interrogation techniques goes to Jill.
Tad hands Jill a medal.
All you people who believed in me, this is for you.
And folks, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. We have a special presenter for the final award. Mustafa!
Mustafa enters with an envelope.
The award for best accomplice to torture goes to Jill.
Jill shifts her feet as if they're on fire.
When I try to sleep, I see you, hear you, your poetry.
When you see my corpse is being carried, don't cry for me leaving. I'm arriving at eternal love.
You know, poets can be terrorists too.
End of dream sequence. Scene 10, back to civilization. A few days after scene 8, Jill and Lopez in his office at CIA headquarters in Langley. Jill is somewhat disheveled.
Are you feeling a bit jet-lagged?
Not at all. Why do you ask?
Just making sure you're okay.
How's your kid?
You got hit yesterday, a hit to help us win the game. I'm so proud.
Way to go, coach. So we were successful with, successful with the EITs?
Well, that's a hard question. It depends on what your definition of success is.
Did we stop any attacks?
We might find out someday, or maybe not.
What if Mustafa was not involved in any of the plots? What if he was a clerk? Innocent.
Innocent? Ooh, I just sent money around to the Middle East, but never to terrorists. He was a jihadi. We got reliable intel from the Pakistanis.
Which we bought for $10 million. What if they were wrong?
Here's some advice. Let it go.
What if waterboarding has long-term consequences?
The shrinks say it doesn't. Anyway, some people are mentally weak.
Is it their fault if they crack up?
We have given those terrorists every chance to leave the fight, but they still come after us, wave after wave.
Does that mean we can do whatever we want to them?
Of course not, but you gave the legal clearance.
I did.
That was your job. You did it well. So we made an Al-Qaeda terrorist with American blood on his hands uncomfortable for a few days.
He was reacting in a very disturbing way.
That means we were doing it right.
Vomiting and screaming, writhing in pain. He thought he was going to die.
Those are temporary conditions, right?
I don't know. Tad's waterboard technique didn't follow the DOJ guidance.
How?
He was supposed to only pour small streams of water for 40 seconds.
And?
Tad poured a lot more for a lot longer. Over and over and over again, Mustafa thought he was drowning.
The application has to be realistic, right?
I don't even know what that means.
You didn't kill the guy. So sounds like no harm, no foul.
I wouldn't quite say that.
I value your judgment, but it seems to me you're worrying about a minor detail.
This isn't minor. I supervised torture.
I really resent you using the word torture.
Are we going to continue?
Well, yes. The director wants to expand the water enhanced interrogation program. Your work has been a big help.
What do you mean, expand?
We've identified other high-value detainees.
And?
Mustafa was a test case. You paved the way.
My legal opinion was that we should or not, depending on...
Still, these detainees celebrated 9/11. They want to see more Americans die.
That's not... Where's the proof? Proof that they know something about the attacks that are imminent, like hours or days or specifics. What will happen to them and to us?
Hey, you need to take some time off.
I wanted to, but they made me do things. The DOJ, Congress, the White House, they sit there in their fancy offices holding press conferences, making speeches, and leave us to do the shit work.
Well, that's the way it works.
They have no idea what it's like to be in that room, to do that.
Well, that's not their job.
Yes, it is.
I want to help you, but I can't.
I want them to know how it feels.
Let this go before it...
You said you'd always have my back.
Jill, I think you need professional...
You weren't in the room. You didn't see what I saw, what I did. How can I live? I have to tell.
Jill runs out of the office. In the hallway, she almost crashes into Tad.
Whoa, hey, Jill,
The genie's out of the bottle.
what are you talking about?
We've crossed the Rubicon.
I'm not following you.
The agency, the entire thing is corrupt.
You're not making sense.
We can end it.
And what?
The enhanced program, the techniques, and
Hang on.
I have a video
What kind of video?
of the waterboarding, the torture.
You told me it wasn't torture.
Maybe I was wrong. McCain, tortured in Vietnam, said waterboarding is torture. I could give him the video or a reporter.
Please, you need to stop this immediately. It could end your career.
I need to get out of here.
Promise me you'll go home and get some sleep.
Don't worry about me or think about me at all.
Loud screeching, shredding sounds as Megadeth's Killing Is My Business and Business Is Good plays. Scene 11, back in the cradle. That afternoon at the National Mall in Washington, D.C., stage left a small bench, stage right a black trash can with a spray-painted red X. Jill enters carrying a paper bag and newspaper. She points as she speaks.
Like when I was 16, Capitol, White House, Supreme Court. Now, dead to me.
She stands and takes a step towards the trash can.
A reporter said, put the video in a paper bag. Drop in black trash can marked with red X on path near Air and Space Museum, right there.
She sits on a bench.
Catch my breath. Sit here incognito, read the newspaper. Nick from Clandestine. Okay, need an exit strategy. Eating hot dog, dripping sauerkraut on shirt. No, not clandestine guy, just some slob. Refocus, deliver payload.
Jill moves to put the paper bag in the trash can.
Why is he walking toward me? And the other guy from Clandestine, where did he come from? Don't do this to me, please.
Sound of siren, she drops the bag on the ground and tries to run one way, then the other. She stops center stage and closes her eyes. The sirens get louder. Scene 12, Asylum. A month later, in a room in a residential treatment facility in Virginia, Jill sits across from Becky.
I did things.
kind of things?
I can't tell you.
Why not?
Not allowed.
You can make an exception for me. I'm your big sister.
Don't patronize me.
Why do you say that?
They could hurt me.
Jill, you're safe.
I wish you were right. It's like Milgram, shock study at Yale. Normal people gave maximum shock when asked to please continue. They ignored the screaming. They obeyed orders.
What does this have to do with you?
I wanted to save lives, but they turned me into a monster.
You're not a monster. What can I do to help you?
Could you please pick up my dry cleaning? I want to go back to work on Monday.
Unfortunately, there's no work to go back to.
What am I going to do?
Get better. Spend time with your family. Jessie asked about you.
How is she?
Doing really well in school. She misses you.
Tell her I miss her too. When will they let me out of here?
Soon, hopefully. I'll talk to the doctor.
I was in a situation, an impossible situation.
It's okay. You can talk to me.
I have no idea if we saved anyone, but I know what I did. And that's the really messed up thing.
What did you do?
Torture everyone. Everyone
Everyone what?
is capable of it.
That may be true.
What makes it stop?
One person could say something.
Didn't turn out so well for me.
Did you torture anyone?
I didn't mean to do anything wrong. They told me it was okay what we did. Necessary.
And was it?
At the time, it seemed to be. But now, what would you have done?
End of play.